it came to the point where him and Pac wasn't cool no more at all. And maybe Kim liked him, Pac, more than he liked Puff, but she couldn't have Pac. And Pac didn't have the money that Puff had.
In a shocking reveal, a news source has revealed that Tupac didn't just die in an unfortunate drive-by, but he was a victim of an elaborate murder at the hands of one of his closest friends, Diddy. But why did Diddy hate Pac? Well, according to the bombshell reveal you just watched, Kim Porter liked Tupac, so that could have opened up a whole can of worms. Now, let's get into everything that really happened. According to Gene Deal, the former director of security for Diddy's storied Bad Boy Records, Kim Porter had a soft spot for the death row musician. Kim Porter is pictured standing next to Diddy in a family portrait with Tupac on her t-shirt. The interview portion also mentioned that Kim Porter had posted a number of pictures on Instagram with Tupac.
Seeing that, man, I wasn't expecting her to be right next to Puffy.
It is said that Tupac and Diddy ended up feuding over Kim Porter, something that eventually led to Tupac being killed. Some speculate that Diddy was responsible, and it's hard not to see why when you consider what Gene Deal had to say.
Let's just say this. If Puff and Pac got into a fight, who would I put my money on?
So who would you put your money on?
I put my money on Puff.
Kim Porter and Tupac Shakur are two well-known celebrities that have had a significant influence on the world. One of the best and most influential hip-hop musicians of all time is largely considered as being Tupac, better known by his stage name Tupac, a rapper, actor, and poet. On the other side, Kim Porter was a model and actress who became famous for her marriage to Sean Diddy Combs. According to a Compton police affidavit, a group of Crips stole a death row pendant from a blood-named Trev on Trey Lane in the Lakewood Mall near Compton, California in July 1996, setting the wheels in motion for Pac's downfall. Trey Lane joined Tupac and Suge at a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas 2 months later. The Death Row clique departed the MGM Grand venue following the heavyweight champion's first-round knockout of Bruce Seldon and saw Anderson in the foyer. Anderson was one of the Crips who took Trey's chain, according to Trey. Tupac approached Anderson and smacked him in the face after asking rhetorically, "You from the South?" In the MGM foyer, Tupac, Suge, and their crew started stomping Anderson out. These are undeniable facts supported by videotape, police reports, and witness testimony. According to a report by Rob Marriott, the Bloods engaged in a full-scale fight with the Compton Crips following Tupac's murder. According to the Compton police complaint, Suge's goons informed other Bloods that Kef D's nephew was responsible for killing Tupac. 13 gangsters have been shot by the time the gunfire subsided, 3 of them fatally. There are no easy answers to the myriad questions surrounding Tupac's death, Marriott wrote after his harrowing experience reporting from the streets of gangland Compton. But it has become clear that the rap star's death and the 3 homicides that followed are only the most visible tragedies in a web of intrigue that extends deep into the LA underworld. It was a genuine web. Suge Knight, the tarantula, was at the heart, running death row like a mafia leader, according to evidence described in Murder Rap and the book El Labyrinth by Randall Sullivan. Suge's violent behavior has a long history, with Sean Puffy Combs' Bad Boy Records and its superstar rapper Biggie Smalls, who passed away 6 months after Tupac. He stoked a cross-country feud. According to El Labyrinth, Suge employed LAPD officers. Additionally, just days before he passed away, Tupac had a dispute with Suge regarding unpaid royalties, dismissed death row attorney David Kenner, and had plans to depart the label. Police increased the commotion in the meanwhile. According to El Labyrinth, the main reason they would never solve this case is that the politicians didn't want them to. They said the powers that be had let them know the city didn't need an OJ-style circus. Poole was looking into the killing of Biggie. He claimed that the LAPD hierarchy prevented him from pursuing multiple leads that would have linked black LAPD officers to death row because they were anticipating legal action from Biggie's family. In the end, Poole was dismissed from the investigation and he left the LAPD in 1999. Anderson was never charged despite denying killing Tupac. In 1998, Anderson was fatally shot in front of a Compton car wash over what local authorities claimed to be a drug debt. 3 life sentences were given to Anderson's murderer. The LAPD investigator Kading was given the task of reopening the Biggie Smalls murder investigation in 2006. According to Kading in Murder Rap, he and his colleagues frequently heard stories about Kef D, Anderson's uncle, who saw Smalls at the Vibe magazine hosted after party for the Soul Train Music Awards just before the Brooklyn rapper was assassinated. In order to pressure Kef D into speaking about Biggie's murder, Kading put up a drug sale operation. The ruse succeeded. Kef D sat down to negotiate a bargain in December 2008, facing years in jail but denied knowing who killed Smalls, according to Kading. Instead, Kef D informed them of Pac's passing. In the space, Kading was interrogating Kef D. The interview was caught on tape. The gangster's tale went as follows. When Kef D's Crip gang started distributing drugs across the country in 1991, he was introduced to Eric Zip Martin, a drug dealer in Harlem. They began conducting business. 2 years later, Kef D was invited by Zip, a musician, to a bed event at the Paradise Club in Los Angeles. Kef claimed that Zip introduced him to Combs at that gathering. Kef D claimed to have kept in touch with Puffy and had even loaned him the 1964 Chevrolet that was featured in Usher's Can You Get With It music video. Kef D claimed that when the East-West conflict erupted, his Crips guarded Bad Boy on the West Coast. Kef D claimed that Combs once indicated he would pay $1 million to have Pac and Suge dead. In murder rap, Kef D was cited by Kading as having said, was like, I want to get rid of them dudes. I was like, man, we'll wipe their ass out, quick, it's nothing, consider that done. Combs has categorically denied encouraging any murders. In response to Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem's fight, the hip-hop legend dropped Kill Shot, a diss song directed at Kelly. However, he appeared to imply that Diddy was in charge of ordering Tupac's killing in 1996 as he disparaged Kelly. The single features Eminem rapping, Kill Shot, I will not fail, I'm with the doc still. But this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. But, Kels, the day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed. Even though Eminem subsequently admits in the song that he is only playing, some of the biggest names in hip-hop were outraged at the time. Eminem was the target of a backlash organized by Jay Electronica, who advised him to tread carefully. How dare you accuse Diddy of killing Tupac? He said, Joe Budden now asserts that Diddy is aware of the illusion and will reply, nothing to speculate about, nothing to talk about. Budden admitted on an episode of the Joe Budden podcast. Puff said it's in his hands and he said, I can tell you. That's the end of that. He said, yeah, there's nothing to say about it. It's in my hands. He's wild. Period. Eminem made fun of Budden on Kamikaze after calling his song Untouchable trash and one of the worst songs he's ever heard. Not only Eminem, but other people also assert that Diddy killed Tupac. Greg Kading, a retired LAPD investigator who wrote the book Murder Rap, claims that the music tycoon formerly known as Puff Daddy promised Crips member Dwayne Keith Davis $1 million to beat Shakur and his manager Suge Knight. Kef D was coaxed into making a confession by Kading, the LAPD task force leader, when the Crips member feared being arrested for a different crime. Kading was leading an investigation into the shooting deaths of Shakur and Brooklyn musician Biggie Smalls. You get a very strong sense that he's speaking very genuinely and transparently. He comes across as telling the story as someone who was there. The fluidity is very natural, Kading told the Daily News. But what really convinced us it was true was all the corroboration. He said, he told us things that he couldn't know unless he was actually a participant in the murder. For example, Kef D knew there was a secondary shooting that night that investigators kept a secret. He said, there was engagement with one of the members of Tupac's entourage. That was very critical and placed him at the scene of the crime with investigative information not previously made public. Kading said, he said it's important to consider Combs' perspective when weighing the allegations against the Bad Boy entertainment mogul. So, do you think Diddy did it? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.